Alright, well, I think that is a dead body. Let's investigate the bin next to it first.
There's some tear, an empty cigarette package, and a crumpled kebab wrapper in the trash bin.
Examine the tear.
2 empty bottles of Tallulah vodka and a can of black potent porter is all you find. No, there's more in there. Livis strawberry liquor, plus some Pilsner bottles too. Better not pick them up. They seem unhygienic.
But I have a bag.
A tragedy.
The lieutenant looks in the can, eyes watering from the smell. Examine the cigarette package.
Whoever tossed it here was a heavy smoker. The brand name reads Red Astra. Red Astra is the black market version of Astra cigarettes, known for their high tar content.
Examine the kebab wrapper.
You see traces of mayonnaise and ketchup on it, as well as a tomato wedge. The wrapper reads Shish Kebab Revachol. It's no older than a day or two. No mold yet.
So it's recent.
It's hard to concentrate in the smell. The sea air brings some relief.
Leave. Alright, let's investigate the telescope next to. The coin-operated viewer has been out of order for years. Stop messing with the coin viewer and hold on to something. The wind is so strong. And I can also hear the boat in the distance. Alright, let's investigate this body.
A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right next to him is an empty bottle of spirits. In his cramped hand, a chewing gum wrapper.
So this is the working class corpse.
Half of his body has slipped between the cracked boardwalk, starting with the right leg. The fall has left him broken, contorted like a sad puppet. The smell is not as bad as a 2-week-old corpse, but it's definitely heading there.
So it's a recent.
Hold on.
The lieutenant squats next to the corpse and examines his face. 2 bulging eyes stare back at him, void of any signs of life.
Lividity is faintly pronounced. Whoever this is, he's been dead for 2 days. No longer. We need to investigate.
He stands up and shivers as a gust of wind blows through his bomber jacket. So if he's been dead for 2 days, that was just before I arrived, perhaps.
Calm now. Carefully. Just another day. Just another dead body. Breathe.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of being a police officer, isn't it? Study the man's clothes.
He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with a bright blue lining. There are traces of kebab sauce on his chest. The leather jacket suits him well. It must be custom-made.
Search his pockets.
You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded into 2. His jacket feels sodden and heavy under your hand.
Good. We should take a look at that library card after this is done.
Study the man himself.
The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench. Coagulated blood covers his black hair. One of his feet still dangling through the hole.
So I guess the question is was he drunk, he fell and then hit his head, and that's what killed him? Or was it something else?
You have to be quite inebriated to fall that bad. Well over a liter of pure ethanol. 3 bottles of wine, or 1.5 of spirits. Or maybe it was just dark.
Examine his face.
His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Drops of water shining on his moustache. His eyes, empty and wide, look frightening in their frozen gaze. Height, 170 to 175 centimeters. Curly hair, stout build. Age, approximately 50 to 60 years.
I'm wondering whether this is Morel. Study the surroundings.
There's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. The floorboards are rotten and slippery wet around the hole. An empty bottle lies nearby. A chewing gum wrapper is clutched in his fist.
Examine the man's head.
A dried chunk of blood covers the hair at the back of his head. An open wound. It's sticky and cold to your touch. This is what killed him.
Makes sense?
I don't see any other major wounds, do you?
It's hard to say. No, just this one at the back of his head. I mean, until we move the body, we can't really say otherwise, but I guess just the one at the back of his head.
Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exactly the shape of the bench.
Step on the floorboards.
They screech under your feet ominously. It's hard to say whether the dead man's weight was the cause of the boardwalk to break. It definitely looks fragile. You see waves churning below. Something cracks beneath your feet.
Oh, I'm gonna fall through as well.
He could have easily disappeared into the sea through that hole, and you would have never found him.
I guess not. Examine the bottle.
A .75-liter Tallulah vodka with its cap missing. There's hardly anything left inside. It's mid-market spirits, with a slight touch of menthol. The man meant to enjoy himself, have a good time.
Tear all around us.
He looks at two other bottles near the coin-operated viewer, then at your yellow plastic
I'd
bag.
prefer if you didn't collect them this time. It's not proper.
I mean, he's not gonna use them. Examine chewing gum wrapper.
Lebowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. The man's mouth is half agape from the terror of the fall.
Look in.
The blackness of death. Stench. You think you see white chewing gum too. Confirmed. Nearly the whole pack is there. Solidified on his lower rear teeth.
He ate the whole pack, right? It's to cover the smell of alcohol before going home. The worst thing is,
He never made it home.
I've seen it before. Almost the same scenario. Even the chewing gum. It's always the same.
Step back.
The entire boardwalk creaks in the wind as you take a step back.
So I can ask, who is this man? What do you think happened here? What should we do with him? I mean, who is this man is probably answered by the library card, but I guess I can ask him.
Looks like one of the locals. He'd have to know this spot to come here. You don't just walk over here.
I mean, we did. He looks south the way you came.
But that's just a lazy assumption. What do you think?
At least this man knew how to party. Imagine the same scene without the bottle. Now that would be just sad.
What we're witnessing here is the demise of a great party beast, that leather jacket and empty vodka bottle. Looks like just another old drunkard to me. I think labeling as an alcoholic is a bit premature, we don't know anything yet. I mean, if you're going to die with alcohol in your hand, then chances are you're a bit of an alcoholic. Looks like just another old drunkard to me.
And he was married.
Lieutenant points at the ring on the man's left hand, the flesh around it swollen and grey. This is not looking good for it being not morale.
But let's try to not run ahead. For now, all we know is that he's an unidentified middle-aged man found dead on the Martinez boardwalk.
What do you think happened here?
Death by misadventure. He slipped and fell through the boardwalk. A truly unfortunate accident. If it wouldn't have been for that bench, he'd be alive.
Could it be related to the lynching? You think he was drunk? Point to the bottle. What about the kebab? Someone should be held responsible for this broken boardwalk. It's dangerous. I mean, I'm going to ask all these questions anyway, but I don't think it's related to the lynching.
No, I don't see anything that points in that direction. For now, let's treat this case as a simple, albeit sad, accident, unrelated to the murder case.
Yes, but what if there's a killer on the loose? 2 suspicious deaths in such a short time frame.
We should consider the possibility that we're dealing with a sequence killer here. You're right, connecting with the lynching is a stretch. I mean, the first one is the fun option, but I have a feeling Kim's just going to go ahead and shoot it down anyway. So, you're right, connecting it with lynching is a stretch.
Without any further evidence, yes.
So we need to find more evidence. Do you think he was drunk?
Oh, yes.
What about alcohol poisoning and liver failure?
Some symptoms of acute alcohol poisoning could have definitely played a role here. Severe confusion, respiratory depression, unpredictable behavior.
Sound familiar?
But I think that death arrived through head trauma, not liver failure.
What about the kebab?
What about it? The deceased ate some kebab. It's probably from a nearby place, maybe in the box.
I mean, I don't know where to buy kebabs myself, so nice to know where that came from.
Sometimes a kebab is just a kebab.
Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. Someone should be held responsible for this broken boardwalk. It's
We'll
dangerous.
seal this place off after the news reaches the coalition officials. I doubt that they have enough resources to actually repair the boardwalk.
And then when you close it off, they'll have the kids coming over to try and, be adventurous, and because it's somewhere that they can't go, then obviously once they've tried to do some exploring, they'll fall through the boardwalk, and then they'll fall into the sea and die, so yeah.
Not that sealing it off would keep anyone away. All it does is keep the city council's hands clean.
He smiles sourly. Right.
It does seem to be a pretty straightforward misadventure, although there's still a question of identifying the body.
What should we do with him?
From where I stand, I can see two options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify the body on our own, or we report back to the station and leave this for our colleagues to handle.
Hold on, what about field autopsy? We found him, we should finish this. Let's leave this case for the station, I don't want to spend time on it. I'll still need some time to decide how I want to solve this case. What about field autopsy?
A field autopsy isn't necessary if the cause of death doesn't appear to be criminal, and this looks like a simple accident to me. I'd say we should just write down head trauma in the autopsy report and leave it at that. It would save us at least 2 hours of unnecessary work.
Yes, but isn't that kind of sloppy? You're right, I don't see anything criminal here, let's leave it at that. Now, the thing is we were investigating the hanged man, and if we had not been extremely thorough with our investigation, and also lucky with a perception check, we wouldn't have found out that the cause of death was actually being shot, not hanging. So I'm going to say, isn't that kind of sloppy?
Maybe, but we don't really have much time or resources to spare. The guys at processing will take care of the rest.
Maybe. We found him, we should finish this. Absolutely.
Alright, we should first examine the library card you found. Then we can call the station from my kinema. Let them know we are taking the case.
New task, dead body on the boardwalk. Right. So, let's go ahead and look at the library card. Folded library card. A library card found from a pocket of the dead man and the Martinez boardwalk. It's still slightly damp to the touch. The cover bears a stamp of Jamrock Public Library.
The library card is folded into two and still slightly wet to the touch. The front side reads, Central Jamrock Public Library Card, issued to Billy Mejean, expires July 53.
So it's not Morel, Billy Mejean.
Billy is a unisex name. Could be the deceased, or his family member.
Why would they have the library card of somebody that wasn't them? Look inside.
Whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find a list of books written in blue pencil. Radio thriller. Stand a little less between me and the sun. The last one in the list is The Glinting Curve by M. Theobald. A library stamp indicates that the book has been returned.
I've just had a thought. Obviously, Plaisance and Annette, they have a bookstore, so it doesn't make sense for Annette's dad to go to a library. Really. But I don't know what their last name is. So if it's Mejean, this could be Annette's dad.
Most of these titles seem to be in the sci-fi genre. Some thrillers too.
Look at the backside.
If lost, please return the card to the library. Dial 005 02 55211 or visit us at Moreau Street, 78, Jamrock. Business hours 900 to 1800.
So we have a task. We need to call that number between 9 and 6.
Good. We should give them a call from my kinema. See if we can learn anything about Billy Mejean.
Good idea. There was plenty of information here to go by.
Alright, let's put it away. Alright, well, I'm sorry, Billy Mejean, but we will try and, do our due diligence to make sure the proper people are informed. And let's go ahead and make a save. Alright, so I'm going to try pressing X just to do save straight away. I'm hoping it will just save it. So Martinez day 1 1406. No. So yeah. Despite the fact that the game does this, it doesn't seem like I can actually make it skip to the bottom. So if I press up on the D-pad, right, up on the D-pad doesn't do anything. Left? Nope. Right? No. And if I press down, yeah, okay. I just want there to be a quicker way to skip through all of the different save files. Like, this is just the slowest way it could be done. And doing the right stick doesn't help to skip through them, so yeah. I guess they weren't thinking people would do as many save files as I've done. Okay, so, moving on. Oh. Moonshine probably smells like tasty fermentation. Okay, so, doesn't seem like there's anything else we can do around here necessarily. Ooh, what's this? I wonder how the game's going to path to get that. Is it walk all the way down and then slip through a side path next to the church? Or is it going to go down and then left? It's probably going to go down and then left, maybe. No, it doesn't seem like it. This is one of the benefits of playing a game that is essentially point and click, is if you can identify something to interact with, you don't have to worry about actually getting there, because obviously the game doesn't have full control over where you can go. So in other situations, you'd just be clicking randomly to try and get to where you can see. But because we can see that there's an interactable thing there, I can select it, and that gets me on the way. I do wish it would kind of hurry up every now and then, but... hello? What is this? Right, before we do that, what's this? Ooh, there's some stuff along the way. $2.55 real. These rusty gears used to turn the whole machine. The chain trails off into the ocean to who knows where. Is this a bunker?
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in a long while. You see a handle.
What is this thing anyway?
It's military. A service depot of some sort.
Used to service what?
The washerwoman mentioned a depot at the coast. She said it was for moving ammo and cargo across the bay. This might be it.
Okay, so interfacing impossible 20, open the door. It's a red check. Because it's a red check, I'm going to leave this be because we might have the ability to open it somehow later on. So let's go ahead and walk away. I don't know how we're going to open it, but we'll leave it to later. This barrel has been recently discarded, it still smells of fuel oil. And I think this is the box that we saw to interact with. And we got a shirt. White polo shirt. +1 rhetoric, what's polo anyway? -1 empathy, no really, what the hell is polo? This shirt looks worn and smells a bit. You can't help but wonder, who would leave it stuffed in a tear container? What kind of man would even wear a polo shirt? This might be one of life's mysteries that will never be solved. And at the moment, my shirt is giving me +1 physical instrument and shivers, but -2 authority. But I kind of like it, so I'm going to keep that on. Okay, what else? This goes a lot further up ahead than I thought it would. Alright, let's investigate what this is. Cigarette butts cleaned away under a rock, brand Tiu Mutiri. Oh, it's a lighthouse! Always a girl, always a lighthouse. Someone's made a campfire here a long time ago. A rusted, broken control box for the radio relay tower. A scented scarf. +1 shivers, but -2 physical instrument. Springtime cold allergy. This light springtime scarf smells like men's cologne mixed with cheap laundry detergent. Someone must have left it behind, probably from a date. Wear it if you want to delude yourself that spring has arrived. What does my neck scarf give me? +1 pain threshold. Let's see. -2 physical instrument is a pretty bad debuff. I do have 5. Let's have a look at what it looks like. It's alright. I kind of prefer the Mesk Banger thing, so there we go. I didn't actually put it on. There we go, that's better. Tiny inlets there off in the far distance where the posts trail towards. And this is a lighthouse, but it's not actually a lighthouse, it's just a light. The ladder is too rusty to climb the sea air as eaten away at it. This relay tower coordinates boat traffic in the bay. Barely. Okay, so the light is kind of superfluous to what it actually is used for. If it's just for coordinating, then the light is handy just to be like a marker of this is where the relay tower is, but it's not actually necessary for its function. Okay. Yeah, nothing else to do over here. Alright, so we are getting close. Well, it is 11 o'clock. I wonder if Kim will start complaining about wanting to end for the day. Because I did see there were quite a lot of people still scavenging about. And because we are going to assume that they are vagrants, they won't have anywhere to go necessarily, so they will be available for conversations. Come on, Kim, keep up. I'm going the long way around for this one. Alright, well, we're going to be going towards the people that we saw before anyway. We might even be able to ask them about what happened. Tiny cages, carefully constructed. These soggy logs smell of ignition fluid, they still won't light up. These heavy military blockades are riddled with bullet holes crumbling. 45 real. And there was something over there on the left hand side. So just before we start talking to people. A buoy bobs in the water, the number on it says 11. Alright. Nothing else of note? Ooh, there is. Go. More real. Oversized superstar sunglasses. +1 savoir-faire but -1 visual calculus. Dazzling reflexes but the mirror lies. Is your own stardom too dazzling for your eyes? Can't bear to look at your own fabulous reflection in the mirror? Then these classic oversized sunglasses are for you. Okay, what do they look? Okay, fair enough. So -1 visual calculus means it goes down to 4, so I don't want to do that, I don't think. So let's put these glasses back on. And this is no boat in the boathouse today. Alright. Let's go ahead and have a conversation with these two people here.